In the last class, we studied uh, RS-232 standard. RS-232 standard is nothing but an serial input-output interface which is used to connect the PC COM port with the serial devices like modem. And also we studied the RS-232 9-pin diagram and the functions of each of the pins there, right? And also we studied about two 8051 serial communication registers. The first register what we have is a serial buffer register, and the other register is serial control register, right? Here if you see the serial port what we have in 8051 is full duplex. When I say full duplex here, you can transmit and receive the data simultaneously, right? And this yes buffer register, the serial buffer register, is used to hold the data here. And in 8051 we have two serial buffer register. One register is used to transmit, it is used to hold the data which needs to be transmitted using the transmit pin here, TXD pin, which is nothing but the port P3.1 pin. And the other yes buffer register is used to hold the data which is received, right? It is used to hold the received data, right? And how do it will get the data through this RxD pin here, right? And both these two registers are mutually exclusive registers, have the same address 99H, right? The yes buffer, we have two yes buffer register. One is used to transmit the data, the other yes buffer register is used to receive the data, right? And also we studied about this one, right? Before, if you see that this yes buffer register is an 8-bit register which is used only for serial communication, right? The moment a byte is returned into yes buffer register, it is framed with the start and stop bits, and once it is framed, now it is transmitted through the TXD pin there. Similarly, what we have, and when the bits are received serially via the RxD pin, the 8051 deframes it by eliminating the stop and start bits and making a byte out of the data received, then placing it into yes buffer here, right? Before the data here, when the data needs to be transmitted, the data is formed and it is placed into the yes buffer register and it is transmitted over the TXD pin. Similarly, when the data is received through the RxD, right, RxD pin, the 8051 removes the start and stop bits, and whatever is the actual data that is placed into the yes buffer registers further processing here. And this serial buffer register what we have, this could be used as any other CPU registers in 8051, right? The move yes buffer comma hash and single quotes D, this is an ASCII character D, right? And when I say move yes buffer comma hash D here in the single quotes, right, the hexadecimal equivalent value of this character D is placed into the yes buffer, right? The yes buffer will have a value of 44H here. Move yes buffer comma A, what it will do here, the content of accumulator is copied into the serial buffer. Move A comma yes buffer, copy the serial buffer content into the accumulator here, right? And this is about the serial buffer registers, right? And also the one more control register what we have for serial communication 8051 is YESCON register. Again, this is 8-bit register here. This register is used to form the data framing, right? When I say data framing, to program with start bits and stop bits, and also it will define the different modes of operation of the serial communication here. And these two bits what we have, SM0 and SM1, the higher two bits what we have it, the bit 7 and the bit 6, these two will define the modes of operation of the serial communication here. And this, the bit 5 what we have, this is SM2, this is used for multi-processor communication. As of now, we'll not be using this SM2 here. And this RIN signal what we have, RIN is nothing but what, REN is nothing but what here, receive enable, right? If the data needs to be received right? This bit, the rin bit what we have, the receive enable bit what we have, this needs to be always needs to be set. If the rin bit is equal to 1, it means that it is receive enable there. If this is equal to 0, the receiver is disabled there, right? And this TB8 and RB8 will not be using for since we are using a mode 1 here, right? Since we're not discussing mode 2 and mode 3, right? We will not be discussing over the TB8 and RB8 as I said in the last class, right? And this TI and RI, this is nothing but TI stands for the transmit interrupt flag and RI stands for the receive interrupt flag here, right? As I said, for SM0 and SM11, this defines the mode of serial communication. And here what we'll be discussing is only the mode serial mode 1, which is nothing but our UART mode, which is having one start bit and one stop bit, right? The data frame is performed with one start bit and one stop bit. We'll discuss this mode 1 in detail in today's class, right? As I said, the ring signal is very important here. This is used to receive the data on RxD pin, right? If RNE is equal to 1, then only the 8051 will receive the data byte from, right? And if this is low, the receiver is disabled. So that in order to transmit and receive the data in 8051, this bit, the receive enable bit what we have, this should always be set to 1, right? And this is the TI bit. The TI, as I said here, this transmit interrupt flag here. This is set whenever it is ready to transfer another byte. It means that the 8051 has finished transmitting the previous 8-bit character and now it is ready to transmit another byte. At that time, it will raise the flag, this TI flag here. And when this flag will be raised, it is raised at the beginning of the stop bit. And RI flag, which is nothing but receive interrupt flag here, right? When the data is received on this RxD pin, the 8051 will remove the start and stop bits and the whatever is actual 8-bit character what we have, the byte data what we have, that is placed into S buffer register. At that time, it will raise the receive interrupt flag to indicate that yes, we have received a byte of data, and this will be raised halfway through the stop bit here. This is what we studied in the previous class, right? About the serial buffer register and also the serial control register here. Today we will study in detail the serial mode 1. The serial mode 1 is nothing but our UART mode. UART stands for Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter here, right? Now in this mode what we have, right, here we know that the crystal frequency, the standard crystal frequency what we use here in 8051 is 11.0592 megahertz, and this crystal frequency is divided by 12, right? When this is nothing but we get our machine cycle frequency. If you see for the timer what we had, the time whatever the frequency what we gave to the timer was this one, right? The crystal frequency divided by 12 here. But when we in serial mode 1 or UART mode 1, this frequency what we have, the machine cycle frequency is nothing but what we have, 11.0592 megahertz divided by 12, which is 921.6 kilohertz. This machine cycle frequency is again divided by 32 in UART mode, so that what is the frequency, we get it 28,800 hertz, right? And this frequency is given to the timer 1, and timer 1 is used to set the baud rate, right? And here the timer 1 is used to set the baud rate, and the mode in which the timer is selected is mode 2 here, right? We know about the timer 1 operating in mode 2, which is nothing but 8-bit auto reload, right? When I say 8-bit auto reload, only the higher byte register is loaded with the initial count values, and whenever it resets, the lower byte register is reloaded with the the initial count value which is loaded into the higher byte register, that is copied into the lower byte register there. Now to set the, as I said here, in UART mode, again this machine cycle frequency is divided by 32.8, and this is the frequency which is applied to the timer 1, and timer 1 is selected in mode 2, which is nothing but 8-bit auto reload mode what we have. Now how do you calculate the initial count value to be loaded into the higher byte register for a given baud rate here? And this is given by the equation here. TH1 is equal to 256 minus crystal frequency divided by 12 into 32 into baud rate, right? If you see here, the frequency for the timer is what we have, the crystal frequency is divided by 12, and this is again divided by 32, so that what we have, 12 into 32, the crystal frequency divided 12 into 32 into the baud rate, right? What is the baud rate which is set, right? For this baud rate, what should be the initial count value to be loaded into the timer 1, which is nothing but here, since it is 8-bit auto reload, the initial count value is loaded only into the higher byte register TH1 here, right? Now here we'll see what should be the initial count value for different baud rate to be set. Now if the baud rate to be set is 9600, for this baud rate, what should be the initial count value in TH1? And this is given by the equation 256 minus, what is the crystal frequency we have, 11.0592 megahertz divided by 12 into 32, and what is the baud rate we have it now, 9600, right? When I do the multiplication and division here, what we get, 256 minus 6, since it is 8-bit register, the maximum count what we can have is 256, or in hexadecimal it will be FFH, right? In decimal now it will be 256 minus 3, so that what we get, 253 in decimal. What is the equivalent hexadecimal for this decimal 253? It is FDH. It means that to set a baud rate of 9600, the TH1 register should be loaded with the initial value of FDH in hexadecimal, right? Or in decimal as minus 3. Right? Similarly, to set a baud rate of 4800, what should be the initial count value in TH1? Right? We know the formula. It is 256 minus 11.0596 megahertz divided by 12 into 32, and what is the baud rate needs to be set here, 4800. What you get, 256 minus 6 is equal to 250, which is in hexadecimal FAH. It means that to set a baud rate of 4800 for a crystal frequency of 11.0592, the initial count value to be loaded into higher byte register for timer 1 is FAH here, right? Similarly, to set a baud rate of 2400, what should the initial count value in TH1? It is given by 256 minus 11.0592 megahertz divided by 12 into 32, 2400. This is the baud rate which we need to set it, so that 256 minus 12, this is equal to 244. And what is the hexadecimal equivalent of this 244 decimal? You get it as F4H here, F4H. This value needs to be loaded into the TH1 register to set a baud rate at 2400. Similarly, for a baud rate of 1200, what should the count value loaded into the TH1 register here? It is equal to E6H, right? Yeah, to as I said, the whatever we discussed here, to summarize that one, right? To set a baud rate of 9600, what should the initial count value we should have it in the higher byte register? It is minus 3 in decimal, right? If you want to have it in hexadecimal, you can load the value as FDH. To set a baud rate of 4800, you can load the TH1 with -6 decimal or FAH in hexadecimal. Similarly, to set a baud rate of 2400, what should be the initial count value loaded in TH1? It is -12 in decimal or in hexadecimal F4H. Similar, to set a baud rate of 1200, the count value loaded in TH1 is -24 in decimal or E8. Here you can see here this is -3 what we have, FF minus 3 what you get is FD. Similarly FF minus 6 what we get is FA, right? This is -12 what we have it. If you -12 what you do, you get it as F4. Similarly -24 what you get, E8, because this is 256 minus 3, 256 minus 6, 256 minus 12 and 256 minus 24, and these are the hexadecimal numbers which needs to be loaded into the higher bit register to get these baud rates. Right? Everyone understood this one? You can load the decimal value or you can directly load the hexadecimal values. Now, how to program the 8051 to transfer the character bytes serially. Right? This is the procedure what you need to follow in order to write any assembly language program or the C language to transfer a byte of data serially. The first what you do is the TMOD register what we have. The TMOD register is loaded with the value 20H, indicating the use of timer 1 in mode 2, 8-bit auto reel to set the baud rate here. We know about this one, right? Just a minute, I will just go to the. Now we studied about the TMOD register and also we studied ESCON register. Now here the TMOD register, the first step what we have, the TMOD register should be loaded with 20H. Why it should be loaded with 20H? Because the timer 1 has to be operating in mode 2 here, and for this is these higher bytes, the higher nibble what we have, that is for the timer 1, and this lower nibble is for the timer 0, and in the higher nibble the least two significant bits what we have, the MT0 and the MT1, this will define the modes of the timer 1 here. Since for to set the baud rate we use a timer 1 in mode 2, so that what should be the mode bits for this one, since it is mode 2, MT1 is set to 1 and MT0 is set to 0, so that what we have 0010 is nothing but 2, 000 is nothing but 0, so that the TMOD register is loaded with value 20H, so that you make sure that the timer 1 is selected and timer 1 is selected to operate in mode 2 there, right? Right, the first step is that first you need to load 20H to make sure that the timer 1 is selected and mode 2 is selected. Next, the TH1 is loaded with one of the values to set the baud rate for serial data transfer. Now you need to load the initial values to set the baud rate for serial data transfer, right? Here what you need, if it says that yes you need to transfer serially the data with a baud rate of 9600. Now for to have a baud rate of 960, what should the initial count value we should load into TH1? -3. If it is the baud rate is 4800, the initial count value we should have it is -6. Similarly 2400 -12, and for to have a baud rate of 1200 -24, right? The step 2 says the same here. Depending on the baud rate, you know what should be the initial value we should be loaded into the TH1 here, right? The next step what we have is the serial control register is loaded with the value 50H, indicating serial mode 1. where an 8-bit data is framed with start and stop bits here. Is framed with start and stop bits here, right? Now why it is should be loaded with 50H here? Now if you see this screen, what we have 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0. Again, you know that in SCON register the bit 6 and the bit 7 are used to set the modes of serial communication. Now here what we are using UART mode, which is nothing but the serial mode 1. And what should be the bits for that? SM0 is 0 and SM1 is 1 here. So that what we have 0 1. And as I said in 8051, to transfer and to receive the data, this bit what we have RN bit, REN, which is nothing but receive enable bit. This bit should be always be set to 1 here. So that what is the count value we have it, so that now 0 1 0 1. This is nothing but 5, and these two, all these bits will be set to 0. Now this bits will be set depending on whether if the transmitter is ready to transmit the data. At that time this bit will be set to 1, and whenever the serial data is received and it is placed into S buffer register, now at that point at that time this receive interrupt flag will be set here, right? Only here is an SCON register, we set only this one, the mode signals, right? The modes of the serial communication, and also this RNA receive enable bit, right? Since it is mode 1, the bit combination is 0 and 1, and this bit should always be set in order to transmit and receive the bit serially, right? So that what we have 5 0, right? So that what we have, the SCON register is loaded with the value 50H, indicating the serial mode 1, where an 8-bit data is framed with start and stop bits. Once the TMOD register is loaded with the value, the TH1 register loaded with the initial count value for the given baud rate, and also the SCON register is loaded with the value here. Now it is time to start the timer. Since the timer 1 is used, which is a bit which is used to set the timer 1, it is TR1. Now you set the timer 1, right? Next what you do is the TI, the transmit interrupt flag, is cleared by clear TI instruction, right? It means that this flag is set saying that it is ready to transmit next byte of data here, so that you make sure that this is cleared before the transmission of the data. The sixth step what we have is the character byte to be transferred serially is returned into S buffer register. Whatever the data, the character byte what you have, now that is placed into the S buffer register, right? And when that register is transferred, the TI flag bit is monitored with the use of instruction JNB TI to see if the character has been transferred completely. Now it will keep on monitoring the transmit interrupt flag to make sure that whether the data what you placed into the S buffer register and transmitted through the TXD pin here, whether that bit is transmitted or not. If the bit is transmitted, the TI flag will be set to 1, indicating that the bit is transferred, and now it is ready to transfer one more byte of data there, right? Now it will keep on monitoring this one to make sure that whether the data is transmitted or not. If this flag is set to 1, it means that the byte is transmitted, right? It will keep on monitoring the transmit interrupt flag there. Now in order to transfer the next byte, what you do, again you go to the step 5 here. As I said, this flag will be set to indicate that the previous byte of data is transmitted and it is now ready to transmit one more byte of data, right? Since it is ready to transmit and this flag is raised, you make sure that this flag is cleared before the transmission of the next byte here, right? This step will continue if you want to transmit the data continuously, or if you want to transmit any other byte there, right? This is the process what you need to follow in order to write the assembly language program or a C program to transmit the data serially. The first, the TMOD register is loaded with 2120H, so that the timer 1 is selected in mode 2. Next, depending on the baud rate, if it is 9600, the TH1 is loaded with -3 in decimal or FDH in hexadecimal. Similarly, for 4800, the whatever the count value we discussed, that values needs to be loaded into TH1 register. Next, since the serial mode is UART mode, which is serial mode 1, now what we have, the SM0 bit is set to 0, the SM1 bit is set to 1, right? And also I said the bit 4, which is nothing but the receive enable bit, that should be always be set to 1 in order to transmit and receive the bytes of data, right? That's the reason that bit is also set to 1, so that what we have now, so that the SCON register is loaded with 50H 0101, that is nothing but 5, and the lower nibble will have 50H, right? Next, after that, what you do, once these three registers are loaded, now start the timer, and here and place the data, whichever the byte or the character which you need to transfer, that is placed into the serial buffer register, and you keep on monitoring the transmit inter flag to see whether the data is transmitted or not. If this flag is set, it means that the byte of data what you transmit is transmitted. It is transmitted here, and it is ready to transmit next byte of data here, right? If you want to transfer next byte of data, go to the step 5, clear the TI flag, and again put the next byte of data which need to transmitted in serial buffer register, right? Everyone understood this, the steps what you need to follow in order to transmit a byte of data serially, right? Now we'll see this example. Write in a program to transfer a letter H serially at 9600 baud rate, right? Now I need to transfer the letter H here, which is an ASCII character H, and this character needs to be transmitted at a baud rate of 9600. Now we know that, right? For 9600 here baud rate, what should be the initial count value we should have it in the TH1? It is -3, and I said here what we use is, we use timer 1 in mode 2, so that what should be the content which should be loaded into the timer mode register, which is 20H, and what should be the content which should be loaded into the serial control register, 50H here, right? As I discussed why it is 20H and 50H here, right? And also, since the baud rate is 9600, the TH1 register is loaded with -3 in decimal or FDH in hexadecimal. That value should be loaded into the higher bit register of the timer 1 there. Now, right? Now, looking at the process, what are the steps to follow? The first is you loaded the tmod register, move tmod comma hash 20H, so that the timer 1 is selected and mode 2 is selected. Move th1 comma hash -3. Why it is -3? Because the baud rate is 9600, right? Next, move SCON, the serial control register is loaded with 50H here, right? The receive enable bit is set to 1, and also the SM1 bit is set to 1, so that what we have 0101, so that what we have 50H, right? The 50 is loaded into the SCON register. Next, you start the timer T1 here, right? So that you set the bit TR1. Next, what do you do? Now, whichever the byte of data which you need to transfer, that is placed in the SBuffer register. Move SBuffer comma hash in single quotes, specify that one, right? H here, single quote, specify it as H here, right? Next, JNB TI comma wait. Now jump no bit, transmit inter flag. Right now you keep on monitoring whether this byte, whether this 8-bit character H is transmitted or not. You keep on monitoring through this flag, the transmit interrupt flag here. If this flag is set, it means that the H character what we have, that is transmitted, and it is now ready to transmit next byte of data. Once this flag is set, it will stop, it will come to the next instruction, which is clear ti. It will clear the ti flag. Again sjmp, again if you want to transmit this data continuously, what you do, again you go it here, again you load the value h into the s buffer register and see whether, and keep on monitoring the transmit inter flag to make sure that whether the byte of data is transmitted or not. How do you make sure that? If the TF flag is set to 1, it means that the byte of data is transmitted. Now it is ready to transmit next byte of data, right? This is the code what we have it, right? Now we'll run this code on the Keil software. Now here we'll write this code. Right. Now we'll run this code. Also what we do this timer 1 was selected, timer 1, and next what we have, the peripheral serial port, right? This is the port what we have. You can see here the timer, we have different 4 modes here, and also here we have 4 modes here, right? The mode 1 what we have for serial communication is 8-bit shift register, and what we have is a mode 1 which is 8-bit variable baud rate. When I say variable baud rate, as we discussed here, 9600, it could be, we can program it for 4800 baud rate, 2400 baud rate, or 1200 baud rate, right? It means that we can have variable baud rate in mode 1, right? These are the 4 different modes here, right? Now we'll execute this one line by line and see the change in the peripheral contents here. Now if you see that we executed a tmod comma hash 20h here, right? So that you can see the tmod register content has changed to 020 here. Next what we have, move th1 comma hash minus 3. The th1 as of now it is having 00. After execution what we have, fd, the hexadecimal equivalent of minus 3 will be fd here. That will be stored into the higher byte register here. And also if you see in scon register, execute that instruction, move scon comma 50h. So that what we have in scon now, it is 50h. And also this bit, you can see since it is 50 here, this bit, the receive enable bit, that bit is also set to 1 here, right? Now I will start the timer. After once we have the timer which is started, you can see the baud rate has changed to 9600 here. Now I'll transmit in S buffer register. I'll copy the content H, and whatever is the hexadecimal equivalent of H, the SIC H, that value will be loaded into the S buffer register. Now I can run this one and I can keep on running. Now what you can do, you can go to the UART mode, which is a serial window mode here. This is the serial mode window. I'll run this one so that you can see here the H being transmitted serially here, right? If you want to see what is the hexadecimal number of this ASCII character H, it is nothing but 48. The 48 will be loaded into the S buffer register, which is an hexadecimal equivalent of the ASCII character H there. Right? This is how you transmit any ASCII character H. Now instead of H, if I want to transmit Y, what you can do is here what you can do, you can put it as Y here. Again, capital Y, small y, right? These two are different ASCII character, right? What I will do is go to the this mode. Now save this, execute this one. Now again start the debug mode here, right? Now let's directly run this code so that what we have now Y being transmitted serially. And what is the hexadecimal equivalent of this ASCII character Y here? It is 59. Right? If you see, we will look at the ASCII table. Yeah, this is the ASCII table what we have, and what we transmitted here. You can see from here what we have. The ASCII character what we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and what is the hexadecimal equivalent of this ASCII character A? It is 41. This 41 will be loaded into the serial buffer register. First, what we transmitted H, and what was the hexadecimal equivalent of that ASCII character H? 48. That is loaded into S buffer register. After that, what we transmitted Y, and what is the hexadecimal equivalent of that one? 49 there, right? So that what we got here, if you see this one, we got 49, right? This is how you transmit any single byte of single character, any ASCII characters. What you need to do is in that one, just replace with any of the whichever character is given, you need to put that in the S buffer register there. Since it says continuously, at what you do, you put this SGMP again here. If you want to display only once, what you can comment this one so that this data is transmitted only once. If you want to have this data transmit continuously, that's the reason I put SGMP again here. Right? This is how you write an assembly language code to transmit the any ASCII characters here. Right? Now, how do you write the C code for this one? How do you write the C code for this one? Right? We studied a little bit about C programming, right? Now we'll write the C code here. Now I'll remove this one. This is an assembly code. I'll remove this one. I'll create one more sample file. And I'll store this one. Maybe I'll write it as .c. I'll store it as .c here. Now I'll write the code for them. The first thing, as I said here, include what we need to write. And what we do, rig 51.h. All the definitions for this one are included in this file, rig 51.h header file. Next, what you do, what is the steps what you need to follow here? Next, what we have, void main, open the brackets. Next, what you do, the first you roll the tmod register. The tmod register needs to be loaded. What you do here, it is 20h, so that what you write 0x20, right? X is for the hexadecimal. Next, what you do, th1, this is equal to loaded with what value now in hexadecimal? As I said here, we can use 0xfd. Next is a scon register. Scon register is loaded with what value? 50h, 0x50, right? Write the comma for all this, comma, comma, and comma. Next, what you have now, the tr1 is set to 1. Now you set the timer 1, right? The tr1 is set to 1 here. While 1, it is always true. When I say while 1 here, it is always true. While 1. Now here I write it as, now I'll put the content in sbuffer register, which is a character which needs to be moved here in single quotes, right? H, again close with the single quotes, comma. Next, what do you do? While. Now you check on, now you, in assembly we had JNB instruction. Here what we do is you can use the while instruction. While, right? What is the condition we have? Whether this bit, the transmit interrupt flag, is set to 1 or not. What you do here? Ti, right? Whether this is equal to 0, right? This is a condition to make sure that whether this is condition, right? And you say that this is Ti is equal to 0 here. And now we close the bracket and close the bracket. For this one we have closed it, for this one we have closed it. Now what it has, when I say while Ti is equal to 0 0 here, right, it means that that here still that the transmit interrupt flag is not set. It means that the bit H is still not been transmitted, and whenever this bit is set to 1, what you do, you clear the Ti flag there, right? Now save this code here. Now since this is the file as a code underscore serial dot, first we need to add this file, add files to group, which is a file we have. Let's see, right? Now once we do that, now run this code. Since we don't have any errors, and also you can see this file rig51.h file is included in this our code underscore serial.c file here, right? All the definitions for the peripherals, the timers, the serial communication registers, all definitions are included in rig51.h. We saw this, the contents of this register also, right? Now once this file is built, now run this one, right? We know the execution of this one, the content change in the serial mode and also in serial ports and also in the timer mode window, right? Now run this one. When you run it, what you get is 48. 48 is nothing but hexadecimal equivalent of H here, right? That the data is transmitted correctly. And everyone understood this one, how to transmit. Here what we studied is how to transmit the data H serially, right? We wrote in assembly language code and also we wrote the C code for this one. Everyone understood? The first is, as I said, the first 3 steps is setting the T mode register. The second step is initializing the TH1 register, which is FD. Why it is FDH? Because the baud rate is 9600 and SCON register is selected, is loaded with 50H here. After that, what do you set the timer. Once you set the timer and you load the data which needs to be transmitted serially, and that character what we have, that is loaded into the serial buffer register, and you keep on monitoring this flag to make sure whether the bit been transmitted or not here. If it is transmitted, what will happen? It will set the TI flag to 1. For next transmission of data, you make sure that you clear the TI flag there, right? Everyone, hopefully everyone understood this one, how to write the C program to transmit any ASCII character. It could be any character, right? Here what we took is H, it could be Y or any other character, and capital H is different from small h here, right? If you see this, you see, and this is A to Z, and what are the values we have? 41 to 5A here. Similarly, for small a to Z, what is the hexadecimal equivalent we have? 61 to 7. The small h is having 68 and the capital H is 48 here. Both capital and small are having different hexadecimal codes. Right? Now we'll go to the second example. Now write an program to transfer the message yes serially at 9600 baud rate, 8-bit data, one stop bit. Do this continuously. Now when it says 8-bit data, one stop bit, it means that the mode is UART mode, which is serial mode 1 here. And what is the baud rate to transmit the data here? It is 9600, right? Since we know the baud rate is given, we know the serial mode is 1, and also what we know is the timer 1 is used here, and timer 1 is used, and the mode what we select for timer 1 is, it is mode 2 here. So that what we know here is, we know what are the contents in tmod register, what is the content we know, we need to load into the serial control register, and also, and what should be the higher byte register value, the th1 register value here. Since it is 9600, we should load with -3 in decimal or FDH in hexadecimal. We know the content of these three registers when the question is given to us. Next, what we have, you need to transfer the message yes, yes. As we know that here we transmit only one character at a time here. The first, we need to load the S buffer register with Y. Next, we need to load the register, the serial buffer register with E, and again it has to be loaded with yes here, right? We need to transmit 3 bytes here, Y, E, and yes, right? We need to write the code for this one now. How do you write the code for this one now? Everyone, the first step we know it, what to do it here. And what about the other things? How you do this one now, right? We'll go to the Keil software and try to run this one. Right? You can write it in assembly or C. Now I'll write an assembly code here. I'll include this file. Since we return this code there, what is the code which is written? The move tmod is loaded with 20h, timer 1 is selected, mode 2 is also selected, and since the baud rate is 9600, I will load the th1 register with -3, and the scon register is loaded with 50h. Set b tr1 here. Next, what you do here, the first, if you see this one, first I need to load with what now? I need to transmit the serially yes now. First, move yes buffer comma hash y, right? First I need to do that one. Now here what I do is, I'll write a subroutine here and say a call, right? I'll write it as send. This is a subroutine what we have it. Next, what we have, move yes buffer register, yes buff comma, which is the next character to be transmitted. It is ye, what we need to transmit, right? Again I call a call send, move yes buffer comma hash. Now what we have, ye yes. Again I call a call send. This is the subroutine what we have it here. The subroutine what we do is, now as I say here, since now I'll put all these values in a register, so that in subroutine I'll transmit whatever the content I have it in accumulator into yes buffer register. I'll put it in accumulator, make the changes here for this one. A. This has changed to A here. So that what we have is, now the subroutine what we have it, send. Now what I do here, move yes buffer comma A, so that when I say move A comma hash A call send, when I do it, it will come to this subroutine. What you do, move yes buffer comma A. What is the content we have it here? For the first move we had, A is having the content Y, which is what is the hexadecimal equivalent of Y will be stored in A, and that content will be copied into yes buffer register. After that, what I do here, once I copy that one, I'll keep on monitoring this transmit interrupt flag to make sure that whether this bit is set or not. If this bit is set, it means that the character Y has been transmitted here. After that, it's been transmitted. I'll clear the TI flag and again go again. If I want to transmit this, yes, again here. Next one, again move A comma hash E, A call send. It will come again to send move yes buffer comma A. The hexadecimal equivalent of E will be stored in accumulator, and that is copied into the S buffer register. And again you keep on monitoring the interrupt flag. If it is set, it means that the character E been transmitted. Now you clear the TI flag, again you go there, right? Now what you can have is for this one is, now what we can have is this here, since it is subroutine, what we have is a return here. Now this SJMP again needs to be included here. If I want the S to be displayed again, right? Now everything is done. Make sure that there are no errors here and the values are loaded correctly. Since the baud rate is 9600, -3 is loaded, timer 1 mode 2 50H is loaded. What we need to, since we need to transmit the yes serial here, what we have Y, E and yes, we write a subroutine send here and send colon yes buffer comma A, and you keep on monitoring here and clear that. Before transmitting the next byte, what do you make sure you clear the transmit interrupt flag there, right? Save this one, build this file and go to the execution, the debug mode here. Now execute this one. What we get? We get it as yes and yes here. And what is the hexadecimal code we have? You can see from this one what we have is YES. Y is 59, E is 45, S is 53 here. Right? This is the hexadecimal equivalent of the character Y for the character E, and this is for the character yes here. Right? This is how you transmit the data here. Right? Everyone understood? The same could be, now you write the same code using the C here. Now what you can do here for writing the C code, what you can do is, now you can take an array, right? And in array, what you can do is you can initial array, right? And you can initialize with the value what we have, initialize this with YE yes here, right? And declare an unsigned char, right? The array is of type unsigned char here because what we have is YES, which is taking values less than 255, right? So that we can use unsigned characters here, right? And we know that the tmod register value, the th1 value, and the scon register, initialize that one. And you can start the timer using tr1 is equal to 1, as we saw the previous C program. And while C is nothing but for continuous execution here, right? And what you do is, now you compare that for I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus you write it. So that when I do that, you can say the yes buffer is equal to, you create an array, maybe array is something like display underscore message, right? And for I is equal to 0, you read Y. For I is equal to 1, you read E, and that you put it into serial buffer register. Similarly, for array, this one, put it into the one more, the character you put it into yes buffer register when I is equal to 2 there, right? This is how you write it, similar to the previous C code what we have. If you want to write it, we'll see it again. It will take some time to run again, right? We'll stop this one. Now I'll include this C file. I'll remove this one. Now how do you for the same code, if I want to transmit, yes, now what you do for this one here, now what you do is I need to include a for loop for this one. What I declare for this one is unsigned char I declare a variable I of type unsigned character. Now I declare one more unsigned array of type char. Maybe I'll create display underscore message, right? This is an array what we have it. This is equal to, in double quotes, now I specify ye yes, right? The array is initialized with yes here, right? And this array is of the type unsigned character here, right? Now what we have, while one, right? Now for this while, now here what I write is for now I is equal to 0 comma I is less than 3, because we have three yes, we have three characters, 0 1 2 and what we have 0 1 2, right? That's the reason less than 3 comma I plus plus, right? Now what I do here, now again in the bracket what we have, now here since we had in the previous example we had only one character directly loaded, now what we have, now what is the array we have it is given as what, now display message underscore msg. Now I'll read I. Since I is 0, what we have, display underscore message 0 will be, now I'll put Y into the serial buffer register there, right? Next what I TI, and I'll keep on checking whether the Y is been transmitted or not. If it is transmitted, I'll clear the TI flag here. Like next what we have, I is equal to 1. So the display underscore message I is now 1. So that which is the character we have it, E. Now the E is copied into the serial buffer register, and I keep on monitoring the TI flag, and if this flag is set to 1, it means that the E is transmitted. Now I clear the EI flag here. Since now I is 2, display underscore message 2 here, so that yes buffer is copied with the character yes, the hexadecimal equivalent of yes, which is 53, will be loaded into the yes buffer register while TI is equal to 0. And this is how it continue, right? Everyone understood here? Now since we need to send more than one character here, right? YES, what I declare is I've declared one array of type, right, unsigned character. It means that all the elements what we have here is of the type unsigned char here. And also since for we using the count till 3 here, I'm using an character, right? That's as I said here, wherever possible use the unsigned characters here, right? If you use if you need anything value which is more than 256, you can use the integer. By using character, you make sure that you reduce the hex file here, right? Now this C program is ready. Now we'll try to run this one. Now what we had, tmod, now semicolon, now what we have is 1 2 3 1 2 and now the C code is written, it is syntactically correct. Now go for the D. See now to see whether it is logically correct or not. Now run this code one. When you run it, go to the serial window, and I can see here. Now yes, been transmitted here. Yes is transmitted, right? This is how you write an assembly code and also the C code here. right? Now what we've done, we transmitted yes serially at 9600 baud rate, 8-bit data, one stop bit. Do this continuously. That's it. Since it is continuously, what we use SJMP again there. Next, now everyone take this as an exercise. Try to do this one. Write a program to transfer the message hello serially at 9600 baud rate, 1-bit data, one stop bit. Do this continuously, right? Since the baud rate is given and also it is given 8-bit data, one stop bit, it means at a serial mode 1, which is nothing but UART mode, which is right. So that you know the T mode is register is loaded at 20H, the serial control register is loaded with 50H, and the TH1 register is loaded with -3 or FD here, right? In the next class, we'll study how to receive the data serially. Today, what we studied is how to write a program in assembly or C to transmit the data serially here, right?